Everyone, come on in, gather around, don't be shy, step right up, it's okay, come on in. We're here at Tour de Fleece with some more content. But before we get into it, I wanted to give you the opportunity to know what this half of my face looks like. The camera angles were atrocious, and so the clip you're about to see, and I hope you stay for, is just my mouth and then the wheel and all the things. I just wanted to say that for the record before we dive in. I'm working on it. What can I say? It's a work in progress situation. All right, to the wheel. I've done something new. Almost everything that I do is new because I'm such a new spinner. But I'm attempting my first ever fractal yarn. This is huge. It's going to be a 3-ply yarn. So there are 3 singles that I've spun here. And this is my half of the yarn that I sent to the Netherlands to my Secret Santa giftee. And I chose to make it into a fractal because it had just a lot of different colors in it, but the sections were all different lengths. So I'm going with a fractal, and the point of the fractal is that you break it up into different pieces. So this first ply is the biggest piece, and because of that, it has the slowest color progression. This one has medium because I broke it into 2 pieces, and this one has smallest, it's the smallest amount of fiber, so it has the fastest color progression because I broke it into 3 pieces. So that when combined together into a plied yarn, a 3-ply yarn, you're gonna have all these different sections where the different colors are coming into contact with each other in that same color progression. And the end result is truly beautiful. If you are thinking of a fractal, you can think of like a spin cycle yarns is like the quintessential fractal. Abby, put a picture here for the people so that they know what I'm talking about. Again, this yarn is also a new fiber for me. It is 100% US Rambouillet, and I had a great time spinning the singles for this, so I can only imagine plying is going to be just as enjoyable. It's really easy to work with, and I'm excited because I have a lot more Rambouillet in my stash, so that's going to bring some fun times when I'm ready to return to Rambouillet. But anyway, that's the concept. Let's get to plying. The stress. Where is the end of you? Are you over here? I don't know. I cannot find her. Dude, fighting for my life just to find the end of this yarn. Where is it? The other ones were so easy. Where? Is it this? Yes. Okay, I think we're ready now to ply. Oh my gosh, here we go, we're off. Okay, okay, but first of all, I need to make sure that these stay more tensioned so I can pull on them to straighten them out because there's lots of curly cues in them. Okay, now we're ready. Now we're going. Look at that, we're doing it. We're doing it, bobbins, we're doing it. Okay. I was really excited because I had the idea to spin this, and I watched a YouTube video on how to make fractals, and I just kind of went for it. Classic me. The problem that I ran into was that I only have 4 bobbins, which means I could spin all of the singles, as you see behind me, but I only have this bobbin to ply them all together. And while they fit nicely on the bobbin, they're definitely not full as singles. Then you're combining 3 singles. So we're definitely gonna have an issue where I fill up this bobbin and still have more singles behind me. There's also the very high possibility that I did not spin these consistently enough. What? Who would have thought? A new spinner not spinning consistently and making thick and thin yarn. That some of these singles are going to be longer than the others, so I might run out of one before I run out of the other. What we're going to do is we're going to fill up this bobbin, see where we're at, and then probably go wind the bobbin off onto my Swift because I don't have a nitty knotty. Ooh. And then once it's wound off, I will be able to clear, right, that bobbin will be clear. I'll come back, I'll keep doing that. And then I asked my friends on my spinning Discord what they recommend doing, because I was like, I don't have the money or the want really to invest more money into this hobby at this exact moment. And so I only have bobbins that are this big. They do sell a whole other like part to my flyer and bobbin that would allow me to have a jumbo bobbin and a jumbo flyer to accommodate the jumbo bobbin. But I didn't want to buy that right now. And then you have to like switch it out, which feels like way more permanent. Like you're making the choice to upgrade this to a jumbo. And then I was like, well, I could get an e-spinner, which like I do want an e-spinner at some point, but like not right now. I just bought this. Hello. And I'm still a baby at making yarn. Anyway, I asked my friends on the Discord and they suggested that I can do a series of like either slightly felting the ends or doing a Russian join or something like that to like keep it all in one skein so that the finished project is one product versus like 3 littler skeins or 2 or however many this ends up turning into. Is this normal that this is tingling back here? Or did I fuck it up by not keeping them straight at the beginning? I don't know. Gonna keep going. And get my hands set in. Here we go. We're plying yarn. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, already feeling that thick and thin situation. Oh, this part, they're all pretty much the same. Very good. I'm hoping that some of the parts that are too thick on one single are met with pieces that are too thin on the other singles to kind of even it out. But I suspect that I cannot count on that. And that's okay. See, already, right now it's just blue on blue, but eventually we'll start to get a little fade. I'm so excited about this. Okay, well, first of all, I started treadling before I had my hands ready. But how am I supposed to do this and technique? Am I going for any particular specifications on these plies? No. Just learning how to ply still, really. Other more advanced spinners who have stricter criteria for their yarn might ask about the twist angle, and I could measure it. I don't have a protractor or a twist angle measurer, so I don't know. But I'm okay with it. I'm feeling fine about it. Okay, now see, on that third ply that has like the shorter color transitions, we're starting to get some of that pinky blue mixed in. Ah, it's happening. The color transitions. This is why we fractal. It's beautiful. But see, this bobbin is filling up so much faster than when I was making the singles. I was smart. I would like to give credit to myself, my brain, because I have really thick worsted weight leaders on my 3 singles bobbins, but this one, I have a really thin piece of yarn, so that'll just give me more room because it takes up less space. Good job, past me, using that big brain of yours. So proud. The pink, it's so beautiful. So now we've got 2 blues and 1 pink. Matches my outfit once again. I was spinning up this yarn next to my big pink couch and was like, God damn it. it perfectly matches my couch. And I was like, you know, when you're buying it and you're like, I don't know, the colors just really speak to me. I don't know, they're just pretty. And it's like, oh, literally the color of my decor. Okay, not mad about it. Just one of those like, there we go. Here we go. This is so fun. Oh my God. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I made it with my own hands. And it's super twisted, but that's okay. Because it's just getting twisted. Anyway. Oh, that was a better way to do that. Okay. Learning. Imagine if this just perfectly fits on this bobbin. It won't, but in my heart, the like power that would come would be too much. This blue really is taking its sweet time. It was a big section of blue. The other sections are a bit smaller until you get to the end. Ugh. Why must you tangle back here? But you're not like actually tangled, you're just getting spun up. Okay. Look at that. Learning technique. Okay. You really wanted to go for it. I get that. Who can relate? Okay. I've been very busy this month. I had a knitting workshop that I taught just on this past Wednesday. And this Sunday I have another D&D campaign. I'm a DM for some of my friends. And we play D&D like once a month, but we took June off. And I'm very excited about that. And obviously it's Tour de Fleece, which comes first. My birthday's later this month, and I'm going to the aquarium. I'm so excited. But Cam just recently finished all their graduate school coursework. They're officially a Master of Library and Information Sciences, and I'm so freaking proud of them. But they've had more time to get back to like their hobbies, and right now they're diving back into playing Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Legends of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And I love it because while I'm spinning, I've been able to like, first of all, watch the playthrough that they watched, and then also now watch them play. And it's great, but now all I want to do is restart my Breath of the Wild file that I never finished. And the reason I never finished it was, one, I got busy, distracted, whatever, but also because I just ended up wanting to only collect the horses and ride my horses around and take care of my horses rather than fight any of the bad guys. And then one time my horse died in the video game only, but it still was like really emotionally tough for me. And I was like, no, Nugget, you died. But then not too long later, I got Nugget 2, so things were okay. But yeah, anyway, that's not really the point of the game, unfortunately. And so I didn't actually like make a lot of progress in the game. But I'm watching them play and I'm just getting like inspired to redo it. But like, I'm so busy right now. I've got so many things going on. I've got Tour de Fleece going on. Like, I can't be starting a new video game. I've got YouTube followers who demand rigidly content every other week. Can't be playing a video game. Can't be riding around little horses through Hyrule. It's not gonna work. Is this normal when you're plying to have to stop so many times to just like untwist your little yarns? All the 3 strands are different colors right now, and that's very fun. So I was fighting it off, fighting the urge. I picked back up my Pokemon file that I had been working on forever ago and kept playing that because I was at least like far enough along. Because restarting a new thing is different than picking something back up where you're like halfway through it. Maybe I could just pick up my Zelda file, but the thing is I doubt I remember any of the mechanics, any of the what am I supposed to actually be doing. So I feel like I need to start at 0 versus Pokemon. Me and Pokemon, we go way back. Like that stuff is cradle, you know what I'm saying? And so it's really fine. Oh my gosh, we are fractaling. Do you understand? Ugh, this is so exciting. Okay. My problem is that I have like an issue and I need to slow down, and I just keep treadling as if I can treadle through my problems. And you know, Dory taught me to just keep swimming, but it just doesn't work the same for spinning. You should stop treadling, fix your problems, and then proceed. Okay. I'm excited because this is only day 6 of Tour de Fleece right now, and I'm already plying this, which I didn't. I have no scope for how long it takes to spin anything. And this was not a whole braid. This was about 60 grams of fiber for this whole thing, for my, you know, my half of the braid. But you don't know how long something's going to take you until you know. And now I know. Oh God, this is like a thread back here. Who am I that is like spinning so thin? Who invented you? Oh, Anna's calling me. It's about the end of the first week of Tour de Fleece, and the data is in. It's time to look at yarns. It's time to talk about those yarns. It's time to talk meterage, yardage, plying. I want to show you what I made. I want to show you the data about what I've made, and I want to talk about what I'm going to be making next. Okay, for context, this is where we're starting. This is the first skein I made on my spinning wheel. Name still pending, although I got a lot of really great comments on my video, and they're still pouring in because this is now the day after my first part went live, and I finished it before Tour de Fleece started. So none of this contributed to any sort of finished objects during Tour de Fleece. But I would like to just inspect it a little bit because this is our baseline. I'd say in the roll of yarn, this is very believable. It hangs together just fine. It is quite overspun in many places. And this is a like humbug BFL, so it is a like white and gray brown stripy blend. This is the end. But this part is really tight and ropey. And it has several of those like crunchy bits. Even though this has been wet set and thwacked, it still is, it's got those parts that are just really, really crunchy, over plied, and you can tell because that's still plying back on itself. But then it's also got really lovely parts like this one that are under spun and then plied. So they're like really floofy. There's a lot of thick and thin bits. But like, am I still proud of her? Absolutely. But like I said, this is where we're starting from. And I have since spun every single day of Tour de Fleece. Where did that get us? Well, I started, as you saw on my last video, with these two little babies. These two little babies are this is our Nord Hollander bat. It's about 9 or 10 grams. And this is our little 2-ply yarn that we got with that. Again, still inconsistent, still thick and thin, but not as like, oh my gosh, this part is so overspun, so crunchy. This part is huge and falling apart. There's a little bit of that, but overall, not as much. Very cute. And like I said, this is just a little 9 or 10 gram little nugget. And then the spotted sheep, same thing, a 2-ply, about 9 or 10 grams. These are both from my Secret Santa. And they were really fun to spin. This was my first time spinning bats. So like, that's a new fiber preparation and 2 new sheep breeds to me. Not hard to do when I haven't really spun anything. And these two sheep breeds are like very common in the Netherlands. But like, I'm pretty sure I looked it up, and like these two are like dairy sheep breeds, so they're not really bred for their wool. So the fact that like I have some of their wool when they're not just like wool producing, they're not sheep that are produced for their fleece, is really freaking cool. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. I'll try to have editing Abby fact check me. I'm frequently wrong. Trying new things, and I mean in this one, right, the fact that these are still two new to me breeds and a different prep than I have ever spun with, I'm pretty freaking proud of how these turned out, because I can already tell these are more consistent than this. You might not be able to tell on camera, so you just have to believe me, and I just told you that I'm frequently wrong and sometimes lie when I don't mean to. So, I don't know, if you can see, vouch for me in the comments. Yeah, I'm really proud of these little spins. I think these were a great way to start Tour de Fleece because I was just getting my feet wet. It was a quick win, and that was really energizing and fun. And this green one is literally so beautiful. I know that the camera has not really done it justice to just how green this green is in the floof. Obviously there's more air in there, so the colors are gonna look lighter because the fibers are more spread apart. I did a worsted spin, like short forward draft on all of the things that I'm gonna show you. That's what we're working on right now. And that helped compact everything a little bit more so you can see that those colors stand out. But then there's also these beautiful blues and reddy, like orangey colors, and just a little bit of stellina, which might have been an oopsie, but like is still very welcome, very cute. And yeah, I'm very pleased with these two. These are very fun to spin. I really like the way this spotted sheep feels. It feels really soft. I have not wet set these yet either. For those who don't know, you basically give your yarn a bath, and then you unwrap it so it's not in a hank, it's just in a, like in the loopy of yarn, and then you like thwack it, is the word, up against a chair or whatever other surface you have laying around, and that helps. Nordhollander is a little more rustic, it's a little more coarse, I can definitely feel that. And then this one is the spotted sheep, and it is a little softer. Just, I'm comparing this to this. But like any of these, if you gave me the opportunity to spin them again, I would spin with these again, 100%, and would definitely make something out of both of these. Either that, or I've also thought about, for these like little tiny guys, just getting like a clothesline or a pegboard or something and just having them on display to make me happy. And then I can put like a sachet of little like lavender or something like that to help fend off any bugs or anything. But just very happy with these bibbies. I have way more things to show you. And then we went from there to this baby. I'm gonna put some screenshots up of the fiber that I started with because you haven't seen it yet. But when I bought my spindle came with this dark purple. Here's my bag of the dark purple yarn. So my spindle came with this very beautiful purple mystery floof, which I originally assumed was merino. I don't know what it is. I don't know why I was like, oh, it's probably merino. Based on what? You don't know what merino feels like on its own. You don't know the feel of it in the fiber. You only know that in yarn. It felt kind of similar to when I spun Corriedale. It didn't feel the same as the BFL that I spun. So it's definitely purple. That much is known. But beyond that, we're not sure. So that's our mystery. And then I had another mystery one, which is this multicolored purple that I got at YarnCon as part of my like free gift bag. And in my brain, I was like, these are small quantities of both like purple yarns, and I thought that they would hang out well next to each other. And I think I was right about that. You let me know what you think. Get in the comments. Tell me my yarn is ugly. I dare you. Just kidding. Please don't. I am very proud of them and will cry upon any criticism. But again, like in this one, I have none of those overspun super crunchy bits. That's not to say none of it is overspun. Not trying to claim that. But, and yes, I still have thick and thin bits, but like, look at that growth already to have no crunchy bits in my yarn anymore. And in just a few days of spinning, and it wasn't like I was spinning so much. You saw what I was spinning. It's just a little tiny guys. So I made this into a 2-ply yarn, one of the dark purple and one of the multicolored, and then I plied them together. I tried to just kind of loosely weigh the two because I obviously like still have a lot of the dark purple, but I used up all of the multicolored. And I ended up with a little DK weight 20-gram little mini, which is, you know, the normal. When you get a mini skein, they're typically 20 grams, which is what this weighs, and they're typically about 50 yards, and that's what I got out of this. It was like literally 49.8. So I'm calling it 50. Fight me on it. You won't. Yeah, I'm really pleased with how this turned out. Again, this also still needs to be wet set. Pam really likes thwacking, and I've just been kind of cruising through my yarn, so I haven't wanted to like stop and wet set and dry and do all of that prep with it. So I guess I'm kind of just waiting to batch thwack. And like these are so tiny that I can fit them all into the tub that I would normally use. I have like a big bowl that I normally use for washing my things. I'm just really grateful that I had these smaller scraps of fiber to play with because it feels a lot less committal than diving into a big braid. And I didn't want to like break off part of the braid because for my bigger pieces of floof, like I want that color progression. I want that whole story. I want all of it. I don't want to quote unquote waste any of it on practice, but these turned out just fine. Like I know I can craft something with this. I might turn it into a granny square. I might turn it into other. I'm not sure yet because I have not knit with my own handspun yet, and I'm still trying to figure out like how hard is it going to be with the amount of thick and thin that I have, and that will determine how tight of a gauge that I set and all of that. I'm feeling very analytical right now. The last things I have for show and tell, I think I'm the most proud of. This is my biggest accomplishment so far by far. I want to say before I start, this is the result of my fractal spin that you saw me trying to ply. My yarn management for my plies was atrocious. I know that. I already know that. And I fixed it. I fixed it on the second bobbin. I had no problems just continually doing that. My yarn did not get anywhere near as twisted coming off the bobbins. So I know, and I fixed it. Don't worry. Don't worry. If you were like me watching that footage back and just being like, BB. But that's how I learn, okay? I have to like royally mess it up and get myself out of it and then find a better way to do it because I like realize what I need to pay attention to. Just know that I know. And I will be better. This is my solemn vow. Are you ready to see the results of our 3-ply fractal spun yarn? Here she is! Dun dun dun! Look at her! And again, no crunchy bits. Has not yet been wet set. So we still got some parts that are a little like, just want to be free and do their own thing. Maybe some over plying. Definitely in some parts there's not like a consistent ply on it, and you can tell because of the little length of the little stripies, but also just look at that color progression. I ended up doing the Russian join, so this is all of it that I got. I started with 60-ish grams of this rambouillet, and this is a 57-gram little hank of yarn. And it's like DK weight-ish, which it's hard to really say because it is so thick and thin, but on average, the amount of weight I have and the amount of yardage I have equals out to a DK weight, which is great, very usable, very happy with that. And I'm just so proud of this. Like, I finished this and was just in awe of the fact that like my hands made this yarn and it looks so cool. And the fact that I was able to do this so soon and it didn't take as long as I thought it would. And yeah, I'm just very proud and very pleased. This is definitely a feel-good win of a spin. I did run out, interestingly, I ran out of one of the bobbins, which I predicted before the other two, but the one that I ran out of was the one I split into 2 pieces. I don't know exactly which one I would have predicted running out first, but it was not that one. And that's the one as a single that I spun in the middle, because I went 3, then 2, then 1. So like you would think that I would get, you know, more consistent as I went up, and that would affect the amount of yarn I have at the end. But it's also possible that it's just due to the fact that I ripped them very organically, I guess. Like, I didn't weigh them. I didn't make sure that there was about the same amount in each one. So it's possible that that piece I originally split when I split the whole braid into 3, it's possible that that middle piece was just smaller than the other 2, thus yielding less fiber to be spun into yarn, thus yielding less yardage on my single. But that's okay, because now I have this little baby. This is 4 grams of the remaining 2 plies. And it's not quite a fractal. I think it's just marled, because by the time I got to, it's the single that I just had in 1 piece and the single that I had in 3 pieces. So the multicolor is all coming from that single I had in 3 pieces, and the deep red is just what was left over from the remainder of the distance on that single that was just in 1 piece. And it's just so baby. It's just 4 grams. It's the remaining 4 grams from this. And I only had, do I have it in here? Y'all, I only had this much left on my bobbin at the end. It's not a good example of what yarn should look like, so don't ignore that. Or, well, please just ignore that. But that's all I had left. Like, after Yarn Chicken, I just had this left. Very pleased with that. Didn't plan it, didn't do a damn thing to earn the pride that I feel in it, but I'm taking a win as a win. This Tour de Fleece, you take a win as a win, okay? Just more appreciation for this skein. I have now done the showing. Let's take a look at the data. I made a spreadsheet. And on this spreadsheet, I used it to calculate the yardage per 100 grams so that I could figure out what yarn weight each one was in. I have information on, I only calculated the yardage for like the final plied yarns, and then I backed it up to figure, like, to calculate the yardage of each individual single. And then I have, you know, the final weight of the yarn in grams. And then I converted all my yardage to meterage so that everybody could understand what I'm talking about. So at the end of the day for Tour de Fleece, week 1, I calculated the total yardage of the singles, like that I spun in the singles, and then the distance that I like would have spun the ply as well. So you count the ply because you're doing the work of spinning your yarn, and you count the singles that make up that plied yarn. I hope that made sense to those who are not spinners. But all that to say, at the end of this week 1, which I guess technically the end of week 1 is tomorrow, but I wanted to film today. So that's what I did. No, week 1 is today. It's Saturday. Week 1 is today. I understand time as a concept and my place in the timeline. At the end of week 1, we have calculated the numbers. I personally have spun and plied a yardage of 955.42 yards of fiber into yarn, which is in meters 873.64. And across all the things that I have spun a total of 100 grams of fiber. So all of those yarns I just showed you, if you weighed them all, they would weigh 100 grams. I love a spreadsheet. I love some data. So I'm having a lot of fun being like, oh, look what I made. I think it's also important to note at this juncture that not only have I spun that much, but it has also been 8 days and I have still not restarted a file on Breath of the Wild. And I think that that is worth noting at this point. It is very hard to fight back the urge to just start a new file. I do not know if I will survive Tour de Fleece without restarting the file. It calls to me. It is fun watching Cam play, but then it just makes me want to play mine. They were riding a horse today and I was like, oh no, that's the best part of the whole game, is getting a new horse and naming it and putting it in the stable. But then they also like got their shit rocked by some creepy little goo guys with eyes on their hands. It's gross. I'd now like to talk about what's next on my docket. What's nice is that I've already spun some of those things and I'm trying to dip into like more breeds. So, you know, I already spun Rambouillet, so I'm taking all my Rambouillet off the table until I've gotten through some more different stuff. Then I can come back to the Rambouillet. I am really interested in spinning this gray wool bat. I think it would be cute to have yarn that's spun in the same color as my cat's. This is the one that's dyed with logwood, and it has like a bluish gray feature, which my cats are also bluish gray. So it'd be cute, they could match. I also bought these 2 braids from Fossil Fibers. I love Fossil Fibers. They're a Michigan-based company and I love that. And they also do really cool work in their community of like educating farmers on the value of their sheep's fleece. If you have a lot of farmers who are mainly producing sheep for meat or dairy, they may not realize that spinners want their fleece. The owner of Fossil Fibers like kind of helps farmers understand that and find places to sell their fleece and things like that, which is really cool community work. But I bought these 2 gorgeous, gorgeous braids as part of their 2025 Tour de Fleece collection. And I think I want to spin, I'll probably only end up being able to spin one of these during the tour, because again, if I get to the end of this one, I won't be able to spin this breed again. They're both Polworth. So if I go Polworth and I spin this one, for example, which is like very red, peachy orange and kind of pale pink, very cute, then I'm gonna have to put this one on ice until I get through more stuff to be able to come back around to Polworth, and vice versa, right? If I spin this one, same thing. This one is very, very, very dark purple, fading to like, it's got some really warm purple spots, and this one's got a little bit of greeny blue at the end. So probably gradient spins for both of these. Another thing I have not done, but again, why do I need extra skills and know-how when I can just have unbridled enthusiasm, the delusional confidence of a neurodivergent person who's got access to YouTube? So I'm gonna spin one of these in the near future. That's kind of where my attention is going. Okay, so this is the Nest Fibers, one of the fibers that Michelle of my spinning wheel gifted me. Thank you, Michelle. It is from Nest Fiber Club. It is in the colorway Paper Kites. It is a BFL milk and silk blend. Yes, you heard that right. If you're not familiar, milk fiber. I'll explain in just a second. Let's look at this first. Okay, and I'm able to spin with BFL still because I didn't spin that first spin during Tour de Fleece. So BFL is still on the table and that's fine. But I picked this one because it's the most like different. So it's BFL, but it's also got milk and silk in it. And it's so pretty. It's got very like fairy vibes to me. I like it. It reminds me of those like sky dancer things where you pull and they fly off into nowhere and probably hurt someone, but you had a great time. We know. So this is it. And yes, so part of this is silk, which comes from silkworms. And then part of this is milk, which comes from milk proteins. So milk has a certain number of proteins in it. Lactose is one, but this one is made out of, I think it's pronounced casein. And it works the same way as any other protein, right? Your hair is protein, wool is protein. It's a protein fiber. So the protein is extracted and then it is made into a fiber that you can create yarn with. I feel very proud of knowing that, like having looked up what this is, because not a few weeks later, Cam, who works in fashion, one of their coworkers was writing copy for a piece, and the like fiber content of the garment that one of their coworkers was writing said milk, and that was really confusing to them because they had never heard of it. There was a chat going about, is that just a typo and it's supposed to say silk? And that was kind of the consensus. And then Cam pulled me into it, and I feel very proud because I was then able to explain what milk fiber is and that it's not a typo. It's actually its own thing. And I think that that's just an interesting concept. And I want to try it out and I want to see what happens. I don't think that these are colors that I would naturally gravitate towards or pick necessarily for myself. But I am of the Mama Gwen from TL Yarn Crafts mindset that like sometimes the yarn in your stash isn't for you. So it is very possible I will spin this up to make something for someone at some point. Or again, I will hang it on my wall and just have something pretty and ethereal to look at. It's so soft. Like silk is just so soft. I'm not sure what texture the milk fiber is contributing. I can't tell necessarily just because I don't know enough. And I need to learn more about milk fiber and like what are its features and attributes. But that would be part of it and that would be really fun. So anyway, thanks for visiting my craft land. You're invited back specifically next week where I'm releasing an extra bonus video for you all covering the rest of Tour de Fleece and the stunning conclusion to see all the yarn that I spun, how much yardage and meterage, the gram weight, and the reveal of the name of my spinning wheel. It's a don't miss. If you want to make sure you're ready for it, check out some of my other videos. And I'll see you back soon. Bye!